Welcome back, everybody, to Niners Now. I'm your host, Brady Grustas, at GrustasBrady on X. You can follow me there. And we had a football game last night. The standings are official. Eagles 1-0, Cowboys 0-1. And of course, stick around until later in the show because the Niners have a huge game this weekend, folks. Starting off the year in Seattle against the division rival Seahawks. But before we begin, go ahead and subscribe down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let's get into it. So, before we get into all that, very late on Wednesday, we heard from all the major NFL sources that Jauan Jennings has reworked his contract with the 49ers, adding $3 million worth of playing time incentives to his contract. Now, all that means is that Jauan now has the potential to earn $10.5 million this year instead of the maximum $7.5 million that he had previously. And this is a big win for the Niners here. It seems like any sort of holdout that might have happened with Jauan is officially over now, and the Niners didn't have to add any years onto his contract or even any guaranteed money. If you're worried about Jauan potentially taking a step back from last year, then think about it this way. If he's worse, he's probably not getting that extra $3 million anyways because it's all in incentives. He has to earn those $3 million by reaching different thresholds of playing time, could be stats, what have you. But if Jauan is just as good as he was last year, which is of course what we're all hoping for, then he's still only making $10.5 million. For context, that would put him below Travis Hunter's rookie deal and below Allen Lazard. That is fantastic value for a guy as good as Jennings. And it sounds like the Niners are certainly interested in bringing Jennings back long term, but I just don't really know how realistic that is with his asking price, which is rumored to be over $20 million per year. Yeesh, that is a lot of money. Adam Schefter did say on Thursday that the 49ers offered Jennings a multi-year extension, and Jennings instead opted for the current arrangement with the new $3 million in incentives. Shanahan said on Wednesday that Jauan and Colton McKivitz are two people that the team would love to keep around long term, and their potential contract situations are certainly going to be ones to watch throughout the season. We've seen a couple of offensive tackles get extensions this year, most recently Abe Lucas with Seattle and Luke Gadecki from the Bucs each got their extensions. So would you guys give Jauan Jennings $20 million per year? Would you guys sign Colton McKivitz to an extension around the same price? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, let's talk about Thursday Night Football. What a game that was, huh? Pretty entertaining, I thought at least. The Eagles did pull off a 24-20 win against the Cowboys, but it was much more exciting than it looked on paper. There was the weather delay, the Jalen Carter incident. It was a one-score game throughout. I was thoroughly entertained. This is definitely one of the best kickoff games in a while. I feel like these can kind of be a snooze usually. I remember a few years ago, the Chiefs and the Lions played in week 1, and that game was really fun. You had Chris Jones and Travis Kelce both missing week 1. And the Lions, I believe, came out and got the upset in Kansas City. That was a great game, but last night's game might have been even better. Of course, we got to start at the very beginning. The Eagles could not have gotten off to a worse start in this game. Their fullback gets carted off after the very first kickoff of the year, presumably done for the entire season. And then before a snap is even played, Jalen Carter goes right up to Dak Prescott and spits on him. It was genuinely insane. I mean, you got to be a real piece of work to go right up to a grown man and spit on him all over a football game. Like, what is this guy's problem, man? Carter was immediately ejected, thank goodness. And, fun fact, Jalen Carter isn't such a bad guy. He's actually a big car guy, and he loves to drive around his old college town in Georgia. Look up Jalen Carter Car, Georgia for more information on that story. Anyways, after Carter was ejected, the Cowboys drove it right down the field with ease, and Javonte Williams punched it in for the first touchdown of the season. If you had told me Javonte Williams would be the first touchdown scorer of this season, I would have laughed in your face. It did become clear right away that the Cowboys were here to play, and they were keeping, relatively even with the Eagles throughout. But I will say, the Eagles did a great job of responding strong. At certain points, it felt like neither team wanted to win. At certain points, it felt like both teams really did want to win. It was definitely a very up and down game for both squads. CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown, the two high-profile receivers, really struggled. CeeDee had some tough plays, and A.J. Brown, I believe, had one catch for 8 yards. And of course, we haven't even talked about one of the main stories of the game, which was the weather delay. Just completely stopping all momentum in the middle of the third quarter because of a severe thunderstorm warning. Pretty insane stuff. Now, luckily for the Eagles, they were able to escape with a win. Jalen Hurts had 2 rushing touchdowns and was able to make enough plays to keep the Eagles ahead in this one. So what did you guys think of the game? Let me know down below in the comments. But now it's time to talk about the real reason that you guys all clicked on this video. The Niners and Seahawks rivalry is back with another installment. Former 49ers backup Sam Darnold will face off against his former team, with former 49ers coach Clint Kubiak calling the plays. And Darnold, of course, will be throwing to the man who stole Deebo Samuel's Offensive Player of the Year award back in 2021, Cooper Kupp. Now, I'm mostly kidding. Kupp was ridiculous that year for the division rival Rams, but in any other year, I think Deebo would have won the Offensive Player of the Year award. Can you tell I'm still a little salty about it? Anyways, there are a lot of storylines in this one. One of them being former 49er Chaz Surratt is now a Seahawk, giving that defense all the intel that he can. And former Seahawk Marquez Valdes-Scantling now plays for the good guys. So he's doing the same, I am sure. So what's it going to take for the 49ers to get the win on Sunday and start the year off 1-0 in the division? I've got a checklist of things that the Niners must do, and then after that, we'll go over a couple of key matchups that the Niners just have to win. So let's start with the quarterbacks, okay? Sam Darnold. Darnold was excellent last year, earning his first Pro Bowl appearance as a member of the Vikings, and he was fantastic against the blitz for most of the year. He was one of the best graded quarterbacks when blitzed according to PFF. So the first item on my checklist for the 49ers is to get pressure with just 4 rushers. Now, luckily, that's been the philosophy of Robert Saleh and the 49ers for quite a while now. But we did see a couple of blitzes mixed in during the preseason with guys like Chase Lucas and Nick Martin making some really big plays on those blitzes. If you're going to run those blitzes against Darnold, they better be well-timed, and he better not see them coming. Because he showed last year he can torch a defense if they send extra pressure. But if Nick Bosa, Mykel Williams, Bryce Huff, Jordan Elliott, Kalia Davis, and the rest of the line can get to Darnold and get him on the ground, or even just force some incompletions or speed up his timing, then I think the 49ers will really be in the driver's seat in this one. In particular, I think the interior of the line is going to have to step up. Jalen Sundle and Anthony Bradford are starting at center and right guard respectively, and Gray Zabel at left guard is only a rookie. The Niners need to attack that trio on the inside and flood the pocket with pressure without sacrificing guys on the back end covering the different receiving options. Now, the next item on my checklist is for the offense. This one's simple. Punch them in the mouth, all right? Make their DBs tackle. Block their linebackers and safeties right out of the play. Block them out of bounds. Break tackles. Get yards after contact. We're on the road this week. If the Niners really want to come out strong and take an early lead like the Cowboys did just last night, this is the way to do it. Give the home team a little shock, right? Punch them in the mouth in front of their fans and force them to adjust. Running the ball is going to certainly help here, all right? Whether that's big gains from Christian McCaffrey or crucial 3rd and short, 4th and short conversions, goal line conversions for Brian Robinson. But you can also get this outcome by stretching the field horizontally. Screens and run after catch opportunities force guys like Tariq Woolen and Josh Jobe to try and tackle the George Kittles, Ricky Pearsalls, Christian McCaffreys, even the Jordan Watkinses of the world. Watkins was fully practicing, or maybe he was limited in practice on Thursday. Looks like he's closer to a return than many of us expected. But of course, that's easier said than done, right? Those guys are not easy to bring down. And of course, if you're able to have success on the outside with that litany of weapons, that'll only open up more room on the inside for the run game or for guys like Kittle or Jennings over the middle. Football's a complementary game, right? Doing one thing right makes it much easier to do the other things right. So when it comes to the physicality and really everything on my checklist, it's important to do this early. If the Niners can't dominate early, then I guess better late than never, right? But getting off to a strong start, let's say 14-0, is going to be pretty crucial in my opinion, especially in division games like this one. If the 49ers are able to do that, I will feel a lot better about their ability to close this one out. Now, the last thing on my checklist is very simple, okay? Win the special teams battle. It is genuinely ridiculous how many games the 49ers lost last year solely because of the special teams. But our savior, Brant Boyer, is finally here, and I need his unit to prove that this is not the same old 49ers special teams. And that's in all phases, right? I expect 0 misses from Jake Moody, 0 large returns allowed by the coverage team, 0 muffed punts or muffed kickoffs by Sky Moore and Isaac Guerrero. The Seahawks have a pretty good special teams unit, in all honesty. Jason Myers at kicker has been doing it for a high level for a long time now. And they have one of the better punters in the NFL with Michael Dixon. It looks like their rookie receiver, Torrey Horton, will start as the team's primary return man. And while I do like Horton, this is a rookie in his first NFL game. Force a muffed punt or a fumble on a return. Hit him hard. Instead of costing the 49ers possessions, I want the special teams to earn extra ones on Sunday. That could be a really big swing in what could be a close game just like this one. Sneaky name to watch for the special teams purposes, Nick Martin. I hope the rookie's able to make a really big play, maybe a big tackle on coverage on Sunday. He had a nice play in that Chargers game. I'd like to see something similar, hopefully forcing a fumble on Torrey Horton, something of the like. Okay, so watch out for Nick Martin on special teams. Now, let's talk about 3 key matchups that the 49ers are just going to have to win in order to get the W this weekend. These matchups are ones that could go either way for the most part, and that they will have a big outcome on the game, all right? And to me, there's perhaps no bigger matchup than this very first one I've got right here. Ricky Pearsall, whoa, little earthquake there. Ricky Pearsall versus Tariq Woolen or Devin Witherspoon, right? I'm assuming that Ricky will match up against both of the Seahawks' 2 top corners at some point in this game, and it's going to be a real litmus test to see how far Ricky's actually come since last year. If he can win consistently against those guys, then I really struggle to see how Seattle wins this game. Ricky's a lot like Brandon Ayuk. He's a smooth route runner who excels in the intermediate and deep areas of the field. He's a yak threat, he's really shifty, he's got great hands, but his issue coming out of Florida was the ability to beat press coverage. Woolen has the size and the length to be a great press corner, and Witherspoon's definitely got the physicality for it. I can't imagine the Seahawks are going to give Ricky many free releases off the line, so he's going to have to beat press and win quickly in order to keep his timing with Brock Purdy sharp. We all know how important timing is with this passing game. This is just such a high variance matchup to me because if Ricky can't beat that press man, we don't really have anyone else who can at wide receiver. We'd be relying solely on Kittle and McCaffrey to generate offense for us in that case, and as great as those guys are, it would still favor Seattle. I truly believe that Ricky is going to have to play well in order for this team to get a win in Week 1. Now, the next matchup I will be watching closely all game is the Battle of the Rookies. Mykel Williams versus Gray Zabel. 2 first-round picks will be going head-to-head in Seattle, and given that Mykel will surely be rushing from the inside quite a bit in this game, I think we'll see Mykel versus Zabel definitely more than a couple times. I think these guys will mostly be matching up on passing downs because I am expecting Mykel to play on the edge on those base downs. Zabel's a really fun player, and he's a really great fit for the Kubiak system, but Mykel is an absolute freak of nature. His pass rush bag, certainly raw at this point, right? Not going to sugarcoat it. Zabel could take advantage of that if he is savvy enough, but I'm not sure that Zabel has the combination of size, strength, and speed that is required to contain Mykel. I've got a lot of personal investment in this matchup because I've been on the record as a huge Mykel Williams fan since March. I genuinely think there's a world where Mykel is a Rookie of the Year candidate for the Niners this year. And if Mykel can beat Gray Zabel for a sack on Sam Darnold, Oh man, the agenda would be at an all-time high. And of course, it's not just important for bragging rights, right? We talked about how important it's going to be to get pressure on Darnold just by rushing four. And Mikel's going to be a big part of that. Like, don't be surprised if Mikel ends up playing the second most snaps behind Bosa on the defensive line. Bosa and presumably Bryce Huff are going to have to take on the strength of Seattle's offensive line, their offensive tackles. So Mikel, along with guys like Jordan Elliott, Kalia Davis, or even CJ West, those guys have to win their matchups to get consistent pressure. They have to beat the guards, they have to beat the centers, and they have to push the pocket right into Darnold's lap if the defense is really going to play well in week one. Now, we've got one more matchup now, and this is one that we've been talking about for kind of a while on this channel. It's Upton Stout. He's going to have a huge test on Sunday, matching up with presumably both Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp in the slot. Those two are absolute monsters, man. Both so shifty and quick and savvy as route runners. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty worried about this matchup. Yeah, Kupp has definitely declined since his 2021 season, but he is still one of the toughest covers in the NFL, especially for a rookie from the Conference USA. And JSN is one of the best young receivers in the NFL, and he's ready for his year 3 breakout. One thing that I'm not concerned about is Stout's mentality. I think he is an absolute dog, and he will be physical and he will give his all every single play. But you've got to wonder if at some point we see Deommodore Lenoir back in the slot like we have in years past. I'm sure we'll see Lenoir against JSN on the outside a bit as well. But if Lenoir moves inside, that leaves either Chase Lucas or Darrell Luter as the other outside corner on those reps. And I'd much rather have Stout in than Luter. It'll be something to think about for Robert Saleh for sure. But if Stout can come out and really compete in this matchup and win some crucial reps on third downs maybe, then I think it'll be a much easier choice for Saleh. And if Stout can really play well, I think it's going to be hard for Seattle to make much of a dent in this Niners young defense. Now, we are at the end of the episode here, so I'm going to make my official prediction for Sunday, the very first one of the year. And I'm going to take the 49ers in this one. I think the stars are healthy. I think they're ready to roll. I think this ends up being a 27-20 game. Definitely pretty close, but I'm expecting the Niners to keep control for most of this one. So that is all for today's episode. Are there any matchups that you think I was forgetting? Who do you think wins this weekend, Niners or Seahawks? Let me know down below, and let me know if you enjoyed. Leave a comment, leave a like, and let me know if there's any topics that you'd like to see me cover. Thank you all for watching, and subscribe for 49ers videos 5 days a week. Button's right down there. Just go ahead and subscribe. I'm Brady Grustas at GrustasBrady on X. This has been Niners Now, and I'll see you next week.